execution's very good to some degree. Like gaming is showcasing how to win a game quickly, but Liquid's like adaptation on that is a little bit new, a little bit fresh, and they are one game away from then going potentially to lower bracket. But the Pangolier pick just continues down the path that we've been setting for them.
Liquid is the ultimate copycat team. Even when I was there, we didn't come up with our own stuff. We just stole stuff, made it better. Like, why would you go through all the trouble to make stuff good when you can just steal it?
Exactly. Quinn won 3 majors on a Pangolier. Just steal it. Yoink. It's mine. Oh, look at him. He's so happy.
Isn't imitation the purest form of flattery? So, you know.
And there's
like
the beefy boy.
Watermelon reporting in.
Sorry, Magnus.
Yeah, when you look at the bans, right, it's like Centaur's banned, Mars is banned. Dawnbreaker might be a little bit too volatile for this type of game, and Tidehunter is that constant that you often find in a game, right? He will always soak up and buy you that one good fight.
Funnily enough, I actually prefer Liquid's lineup. I feel like Team Spirit's lineup lacks some damage. They're a little bit too reliant on their cooldowns, and Liquid's just gonna run them over.
I actually think they have the same problem that Liquid had last game when I look at their draft. It's like 2 low damage supports and a Tidehunter. Like, who is doing stuff for you? You need Larl to like have the best game of his life.
Exactly.
Is the Phoenix addressed this time around? We had some criticism on that last time.
There's
Miposhka Phoenix back in action though.
Yeah, there's much better approaches to it. I think for Spirit, the whole game is how well does Spirit do from mid lane to connect and kind of make things happen. If Spirit shut down, then I think the points that Madhu's bring up about the static nature is going to come to light, right? And they're just going to be awkwardly reacting to a lot of Liquid moves.
It's still going to be tricky for Liquid. I mean, Team Spirit has all the circles in the world. If you just bash your head into them, you're going to lose. But if you can break the formation that Team Spirit has, it's going to fall apart very fast.
Yeah. Exactly that.
I just want to point out, Zaya's on the Spirit Breaker. They did just put Carry Weaver, which is interesting. I mean, Spirit Breaker, I guess if he's tanking the spells, it's fine, right? Dude, I love these put so much.
Oh, that is amazing. Shout out to the effort going into that one. Let's see if they can force out a 3rd game here, of course, as well. But my panel, I mean, you guys are kind of split here. That's a good sign.
Oh, no, I'm with Liquid. I'm with Liquid. You're with
Liquid. You're with Liquid.
You're with Liquid. T, you're with Liquid, right?
Love Liquid.
Better in love with them.
They're going to win very quickly this game. Yes, Matt. Sorry, Matt.
About Shiva, you know?
I mean, definitely. No, to be honest, I mean, I already said it. I would like to have a game number 3. But let's find out if Team Liquid can do it, as we first will head over to Tsunami, who is standing by with Coach Silent.
Thank you very much. Yes, I am joined by Silent of Team Spirit. A lot of the crowd on your side, which is something that's been kind of unusual for you at a TI experience, because TI10, you were underdogs. Coming into Singapore, yeah, you had the Arlington win, but you weren't favorites. Here, you guys are favorites right now. How does it feel?
No, I don't think we are favorites, for sure. Anyway, I don't feel like we are favorites. We are playing like some middle Dota, no, not the best.
You do know that you have lost very, very few games at this tournament so far, right?
Yeah, but look who we played. We played every team already eliminated.
Confirmation bias, you're telling me. Well, looks like you're about to eliminate Liquid, or at least send them down to lower bracket, and you're going to do it with an Earth Spirit. I haven't seen Larl playing this hero since Dream League Season 21. Why are you whipping it out now?
Oh, honestly, this game, a lot of mid heroes was banned, so pool wasn't what big, so we choose him.
You seem very casual about this whole thing, Silent. I think that attitude continues to bring your team to success. So let's hear it out for game number 2.
The battle begins.
Essentially, as miCKe is already getting gone on. He's taking a ton of damage via collapse. He's getting blocked a bit, though, as miCKe will end up dropping just barely to the right click of Mira on that Shadow Demon. Collapse. It's going to end up getting traded out, so it's a 1-for-1 to start as iNSaNiA is continuing the pressure onto Mira, but they're going to walk away in their respective ways.
I feel like Spirit always make a point out of not being the favorites. I wonder if they truly think that they're not the favorite of this tournament, or at least one of them. They had a great group stage and a great score. I mean, he makes a fair point, right? They did primarily beat teams that are now eliminated, so it's easier to look good, but that first game against Liquid, which you could say is their hardest test so far, it also not look
To be fair, if somebody asks you that question, you look like a giant douche if you say, yes, we are the favorites. That's a bad thing, usually. I would think, at least.
I mean, you could maybe not say we're feeling mediocre.
Okay.
If you're winning every, like 92% of your games, you know. But
they're doing quite well.
Well, maybe their goalpost is just 100% win rate. So if you lose even one game, then it's a mediocre tournament for you.
Sure.
You know? If you have that attitude, aren't you the favorites?
I agree. I think a lot of people think this is a replay.
I know. Here's your replay. Thank you.
Yeah, I thought you almost pulled a Suns fan.
I did not. I would never. Yeah. Seeing the replay here, so I mean, pretty standard stuff for a little bit of a skirmish. Weaver is an exceptionally frail hero once Shukuchi is on cooldown. If you take the fight, a very long cooldown. Level 1, it's 15 seconds on that spell, which sometimes people tend to forget because you just have this image of Shukuchi here, there, and everywhere, but that's obviously a later thing in the game, and careful when you which fights you take on this. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the lineups. The panel was pointing out that Spirit's lineup is very teamfight heavy and very cooldown reliant, which is very true. Miposhka actually not letting us talk about lineups right now.
Right, charge into Blood Grenade. He's going to pop the Fairy Fire. Pursued, but Zion Company not able to pursue any further because of that Tier 1 tower. Go ahead, Cinder.
Yeah, so a lot of team fight on the side of Spirit, but maybe not the most catch. You've got Larl, who can roll in and kick people back, and then you have a follow-through with a Shadow Step, but there isn't any... You don't have like that Blink Call from Axe that's just always going to land, or the CK Shadow Blade in this game. The nature of the game will be different. On Liquid, we've got a way more clear-cut way of initiating with the charge into Pango combo. You've got Deadshot. And most importantly, as Matsu pointed out, their cooldowns are way shorter. So you can play more of a skirmishing style. This seems like a very clear approach from Liquid based on what they saw in game 1. They're like, okay, what we tried there didn't work. We're going to shake things up a lot. Like, this lineup is very, very different from what they ran in the game that we just saw played. We'll see if that adjustment is pay off here. I definitely like their odds better in this one than in the previous one. But, you know, at the same time, it's a bit high risk playing like this, perhaps.
And the battle for the Lotuses, and miCKe will reign supreme. Higher tick rate on his server. But Mira, like you talked about, Shadow Demon against the Spirit Breaker, it's kind of like the big counter to the hero overall, along with the itemization. But it feels like even in games that we've seen this picked, the Spirit Breaker still destroys eventually. That's what it feels like, at least. I don't know if that's confirmation bias. What? Would you agree? Disagree?
I mean, I think core Spirit Breaker is extremely powerful right now. Almost no matter. I think you need to completely obliterate him in lane to shut him down. We saw the game against Muerta just now in the other series with VP against Batboom, and despite the Heritage playing a very good laning stage against pure Spirit Breaker, he still came online eventually and became top net worth. So, yeah, this hero is kind of crazy right now. It's banned in most games for a reason, and I'm kind of surprised that we get to see it twice today. I thought this hero was just going to be an almost must ban in every game, but the teams are trying to find solutions. Obviously, we saw the Doom as one potential solution, didn't work, and now we see Mira on the Shadow Demon. Demonic Purge is an S-tier spell against Spirit Breaker. Slows it to a crawl, removes Bulldoze. But yeah, we'll see if that's enough. We've seen this tried by other teams. This is not the first time this tournament pull out Shadow Demon against Spirit Breaker. I think the last time we saw it also lost.
It works a couple of times in the game, and then he gets enough items, it just doesn't matter anymore, it feels like.
That is exactly how it is.
And I think one of the big issues, maybe if you want to call it that, with Spirit Breaker is his ability to farm has been just power crept so hard over the last couple of years.
That is why
he's one of the fastest farmers in the game, and he's a cow. That doesn't really make sense.
It's kind of crazy that a hero that used to have it as his Achilles heel, right, was the struggle to find farm, is now top net worth in a lot of its games. Like, that's a very major shift from heroes under. Maybe it's a bit on the high side right now. He definitely seems to be... Okay, hang on. Combination onto Miposhka, fearing him back into the silence, but just barely out of range.
But bottom lane, iNSaNiA takes a tumble via Mira, who's now getting chased by miCKe, but won't pursue any further, it looked like.
There's too many creeps in the tower. miCKe can't really afford to go hunting for a potential Shadow Demon kill there. He needs TS. Yeah, this is a very easy lane for Tide, I think. There's a reason that Spirit went for this as their last pick next game. The lane matchup of of Weaver is very straightforward. You get a couple of points in Crack and Chill, you largely mitigate all of the Geminate attack, and you farm. So top net worth.
So calling it now. Dead in the water against Weaver.
Very good.
Against Pango.
Very good.
Against Spirit Breaker.
Very good.
My God.
It is very good.
That is an S tier shard this game.
Yeah.
And I would not be surprised if Collapse prioritizes that very quickly. The fact that you can just anchor them, and then when Spectre actually has farm to be able to ult in anytime they want, you get some nice pickoffs with just that as well, without too much to really spend by doing so.
Yeah, just an anchor and a shadow step can kill supports as well.
Of course, miCKe does have Geminated, which helps.
Yeah, something. When he gets level 25, he might take the one with an additional attack.
Yeah,
3 times.
The other 2 cores are melee against, so it's going to kind of be the same issues we saw last game to a degree. See what kind of build that Boxi ends up going for. I know it feels like they start out as support with Muerta and then eventually to a core anyway.
Oh, big damage on Zai. Nice block.
Body block. Yatoro going to continue on.
Oh.
Pops the one, not going to survive. TP a little bit too late as Yatoro claims that kill.
That was just flat out. That was just Miposhka. That was flawless execution. They force out the charge first off with a bit of damage and harass, and then after. Zai probably had the option there of TPing back to base. Obviously, Spirit Breaker is one of the heroes in the game that suffers the least from porting to base. You can just charge back to the top lane. So maybe regretting that choice right now of not going for that. I definitely think he would have survived. The kill was very slow. But he'll make the same play just with a death, returning top.
So all this talk about Pango getting nerfed, quote-unquote, to the ground several times now, and we're still seeing it.
Yep.
Pretty consistently. Do you think, hold that thought actually, is Mira. Swashbuckle already used by Nisha. Be a bit careful, roll in, not going to connect from Larl. iNSaNiA showing himself now, so no harm done. So yeah, talk to me about your thoughts on how strong Pango is. He's still continuing to get picked, because the one thing that hasn't really been nerfed, I think, is his ult, if I'm not mistaken.
So the concept of the hero is largely the same. Tweaking numbers, a little bit less damage on this spell, a little less damage, so a little more mana cost, but the essence of what the hero does is largely unchanged. It is buying Diffusal, burning mana, and then having an ult that's very hard to counterplay.
Yep, falling is there. Nice dead shot, gonna bring Mira back into the fray. Will die as a result as Nisha showing off that new Rolling Thunder, but the haste rune being applied by Larl. Dodge out a couple of those rolls. Not able to follow up. It's a nice roll in. Boxi on a bunch of creep will die to the neutrals.
Larl could maybe
he's in charge right now. They have the vision, but
not quite.
Cancel it out. Sure, Boxi was a bit surprised to receive the hit and run there.
Yeah.
And then dies to creeps anyway.
He's going to be very happy to die to the neutral. Quite a bit of waste of time there from Larl, and
Collapse has Meteor Hammer, by the way, and Weaver has no stun. So this will be a free tower for Collapse at the 9-minute mark. Okay, he's eventually going to go for the Hurricane Spike, or at least Dragon Lance right now. How does that work against dead water? You know?
I think you would just move with the anchor, but it stays on you, right?
That's right. You get anchored. Yatoro already at half HP. Going to use that ult to get away onto the other side. miCKe is waiting for him, but does not have the damage at this point. Yatoro back to base.
Yeah, he's going to live, but that's still a good move from Liquid, slowing him down quite a lot. Having to use ult and TP to just survive, and they find Miposhka here too. Nicely done. A good sequence from them. Let's count that as a kill and a half with how much Yatoro just lost from having to port to base, having to walk his way to top lane, and having to buy a TP as well. The expenses add up, and they're going to have serious tower damage too.
2 games now. He's getting massive stacks.
Yeah, this time around he won't be farming it too fast though, because he went for 3 points in Crack and Shell, so this is a bit slow. Eventually he'll get through it.
Take smaller bites. iNSaNiA Nether Blast the tower. So eventually will be a delayed trade between the 2 tier 1s on up. Even game so far. Team Spirit, I think at this point was like maybe 2K ahead, and they just kept progressing in that game number 1 just slowly until they just hit a point where they could not lose a fight or even a hero for very considerable. Faring a bit better this time around.
I guess something that's worth pointing out is the discrepancy between quality of tied games, you could say. The matchups for tied in this game are so much better than Zai's were in last game, so I'm expecting Collapse to have a better showing. There's nothing here that's preventing him from getting Ravage off, unless you get like some sort of ridiculously perfect chains combo around Kraken, or you line up an exact silence combination. I mean, you get where I'm getting at. It's very difficult from having that impact. And you don't have the most obvious Silver Edge buyers either. You're going to buy it on Weaver.
Double it is, I hear it's
yeah,
good.
I mean, it's not out of the question because buying crit on this hero is good anyway, and you're also against Spectre, so you probably break. But none of your heroes naturally really love itemizing this, so...
Well, Mira as a core could buy Silver Edge, right?
But Boxi has brown boots.
I mean,
so
could we see
he's almost there.
We used to see a lot of Shadow Blades on Spirit Breaker.
Spirit Breaker
well.
can buy Silver Edge, but it's a little bit awkward because your initial attack obviously has to be melee. You have to charge through, so you're at the mercy of vision and potential counterplays.
And Boxi gonna dodge the roll. Unbeknownst to him, Nisha gets off that Rolling Thunder. Now Collapse stuck inside the calling right now. Looks like that's gonna be a freebie for Liquid. A nice turnaround as another strike gonna be applied to the Phoenix. Miposhka dives away, very low HP, takes a full swashbuckle with the shield crash to follow here.
Oh, nice dead shot.
Larl able to get the initiation off onto Nisha, but the heal's coming out from iNSaNiA. Will it actually be enough? They're gonna take out the Pugna first. Got that Butler. Now the chase is on. What are you 2-for-1 right now is Yatoro ready to go. miCKe running out of mana though. As you can see, ult from that Shadow Demon applied to Zai. Just can't do anything. A nice place calling though. It's not going to be enough to save out Mr. Zai. Triple kill for Larl as miCKe going to potentially go for some more. But looks like they'll back away. So it ends up being a 3-for-1.
Yeah, it's going to cost Liquid their mid tower too, because Tide is immediately going to show up back up here. He's going to hammer. They're going to glyph it this time around, but imagine that it's just a matter of time before he completes this. So, yeah, honestly, a pretty good start there from Liquid, the way they isolated and killed off Collapse. It was very telling how long that took for 4 heroes to bring him down, but they do get there with all of those combinations. Make it scary, but...
Yeah, it was a more elongated fight than I remember. It was a 3-for-3.
And it's worth keeping in mind that Spirit's lineup, obviously, we talked about big team fight versus skirmishing power. Earth Spirit is an incredible skirmishing hero at this point in the game, so they really want that value out of Larl, and they're getting it in spades so far with that triple kill in that fight. And it's a Spectre game. The hero, when enabled, I want to say it loses pretty few late games. There's a subset of heroes that you're not that great against. I wouldn't put Weaver in that category. I don't think Weaver is a particularly scary matchup late game here.
Well,
so if Yatoro gets big enough.
With the shard changes, he's way better than he used to be.
Definitely better than he used to. But you're still running into the break problem, right? Where, yeah, Spirit Breaker can get that Silver Edge, but more than likely Zai wants to go Octarine, he wants to go Yashakaya, he wants to go... Maybe you need BKB this game? I don't think you do. But I guess if you don't get BKB Lincolns, you're very pressured out of the fights by Demonic Purge. You might want to protect an item as well, so... Silver Edge isn't going to be at the top of his list exactly. Charge.
And Miposhka.
He's going to complete it. Oh, wait, he stopped right before! Oh, that's
gonna
bad.
Turn this around now. Ravage comes through from Collapse as well. Zai already dead. If they can somehow find miCKe, but no, not enough lockdown. Dead in the water, not there yet, Cinderin.
Yeah.
Not 15 minutes yet. Soon.
That did just not work out. Zai canceled his charge just a millimeter away from his target, so didn't even get the Grayer Bash coming through. Stuck in no man's land, getting countered out there. I think a lot of players will be not opting to go for these moves at all. We've seen Spirit Breakers just farming, right? Just being greedy, keep pushing side lanes, use that Midas, farm some jungle. Feels like Zai's moves have not really been paying off for him very well this game, so perhaps going for that slower and greedier play is the way to go in this one. Oh, I say that. He's immediately charging his next target in Larl, but not going to complete that one either. Just losing out on some pretty valuable farming time. We'll have to deny this mid tower now as well.
Collapse and Mira in the same vicinity as these 3 members of Liquid. They're going to find the tide to start. Looks like Mira just drops very shortly after this engagement started. Collapse getting charged on. Nice dodge out from that ult on Nisha. But this is going to be way too much damage as Zai makes his way over as well, so a 2 for Nada.
That was very nicely placed calling from Boxi, getting that double silence immediately. Really ruined the counterplay from Shadow Demon, but disrupting. Just very, very aware of the plans that Spirit had to stall that fight out and maybe get reinforcements, and completely denied. So 2 kills for Liquid. Pretty much a dead even game right now. And they might find another one, Miposhka.
Yep, not going to bother ulting there.
Yeah, would have died anyway.
Okay, level 12. 300 away from the Deso for himself. We have a Midas, of course, on Zai. I think it's the only... Oh, I spoke too soon. Larl has a Midas himself as well. Larl taking a lot of damage from Nisha, who now has that defusal. Completely automatic, getting a charge on by Zai. A big kill for Liquid. As iNSaNiA ticking away ever so slowly to that magnetize. We can see Mira gets dropped by Nisha as well.
Spirit need to be really careful with what fights they choose to take. I think these couple of moves, when you don't have Spectre healthy enough to join, they're kind of just getting overwhelmed by the raw mobility and just skirmishing power of Liquid's team. This is the type of way you want to play against Tide, is to just not take 5-on-5s, so you can find 2v2s, 3v2s, whatever. They're looking great in those, and Nisha has been very involved.
Yep,
Headshot
not going to be there, but the swash is from Nisha. She's going to use the inhibit as well. The heal's coming out, and yeah, that's a dead Yatoro again. So Liquid starting to create some serious momentum on their side for game number 2.
This is snowballing really fast. Maybe Silent was right. Spirit aren't the ones. I'm sure they can fix it. I want to say some of Spirit's worst minutes in the tournament, I think that's fair to say, have just transpired. And
yeah,
they're going to try to make up for it.
Caster Curse reverse potentially. Going to get the Ravage as well. Do they have the damage to get through? Disruption from Mira. And that is a dead Weaver. Big kill for Spirit.
Very
desperately needed.
Very, very good. He was going to get off the time ladder. There was just enough of a gap between the rolling boulders that would have been a possible play for miCKe if that comes off. He survives, but he just poisons him in that disruption and kills him in disruption. Yeah, I find a bit of a return kill there. And I was going to say much needed. It's not that bad yet for Spirit because Spectre's trajectory is still looking pretty solid. Yatoro is closing in on the Sacred Relic, so we're looking at maybe a 20-21 minute Radiant. And their lineup has extreme late game potential, I want to say. Phoenix, one of the best scaling supports. Shadow Demon as well has massive late game potential. Tide can only be a big factor in late game situations too. And Earth Spirit Core, who used to... Oh, hang on! Oh,
Nisha! A lot of trouble. He gets deleted.
No, doesn't have any defensive item yet. He's working on that Anta.
I mean, the game was slipping away from Spirit. Now 2 extremely important kills for them, and they're back in this.
I think Mira got both of them as well. So the Shadow Demon getting a big bag here. Wonder what he's going to go for. See a pipe flying out now.
I was hoping for a Midas, honestly.
What is the best build in Shadow Demon in this game? I
mean, is Ags... I mean, it only gives 2 charges now. Right?
I mean, ultimately, Ags is going to be incredibly good, right? But maybe... Do you buy the Shard? You can purge off Decrepify from allies. You can purge off... I don't know. I'm not sure if it's good enough. Maybe just go... Yeah, he's going Aether Lens for now, and then we'll see what his next quick buy item is. Charge from Zai.
Another strike will be there as well. Do they have the lockdown? Yes, the bash is there. Let's go for Liquid. Oh, I was going to say another Midas may be coming for Boxi, but he actually switches up his build to be a Greaves instead. It's helpful for the team.
That item is not very popular.
That's true.
Interesting choice to see coming out from him.
Tara, early blade mail. Nisha's going to pop a Rolling Thunder. iNSaNiA trying to make his way over as well against the Net Blast. They have the vision now with that charge through, and that is a dead Spectre. Big kill for Liquid as they're just trading him left and right, it feels like. As Liquid back decent control of this game with a 4K lead.
Yeah, nowhere to Shadow Step to there. Didn't even try. You can't see any. So Liquid making sure that when they go for these Spectre kills, they're not opening up a vulnerability on the other side of the map for him to escape to. So clean stuff there. Picking up a Yules now on Miposhka. Interesting. Obviously, key item against Spirit Breaker for the time being. Eventually, Zai is eyeing up a BKB already now, and at that point, Demonic Purge is your only real solution to this guy for quite a while. Right now, at Yules can pay off big time if they find a fight they will be looking for. Speaking of items, Nisha almost completing Manta style, 50 gold off. He'll get it from this wave, and that's a great way for him to break out of the Earth Spirit combination. progression on all fronts here. And, you know, it's a 5K lead for Liquid. It's looking way healthier than the last game, to say the least. Now, it's a matter of enforcing your will on the map, right? There's a specific type of fights you don't want to take, and I want to say those are the ones where you clump up and, you know, let the enemy team land all their big AoE spell. But a lot of skirmishes should be possible as long as you account for the Spectre effect in those. And I don't know, maybe you're also happy to farm. I haven't really seen this Weaver versus Spectre matchup late game, just going off of memory about how this usually goes, but maybe it's clearly different now than it used to. Maybe you feel confident.
I mean, a lot of the decisions that you're talking about come to team dynamics as well. We've seen a lot of teams very happy to go late game anyway.
Yeah.
Like, regardless of how the game is actually going. At first I thought they were just scared to go high ground in general, but it just feels like they feel like it's literally better just to wait 50 minutes, 3rd, 4th Roche, and that's when you take your time. But other teams we've seen actually able to implement a faster play style.
Yatoro now with the Radiance, so big upgrade for him. Late Mail Radiance, he's playing against currently 0 BKBs, so massive impact item, and a lot of damage onto Pugna as well. I think that's probably the target for Spirit that they would love to kill the most to begin the fight, is just get this Pugna out of play, remove the Decrepify threat, remove the heals onto the course that they want on afterward. Or is probably able to do it in a single stun. They just need to connect something onto iNSaNiA, and he will. Yatoro again.
Yep, Swash to start things out. He's going to use his ult to dodge out the first rolling Thunder proc. Nicely done. But will they still find the damage? Dead shot. A little bit awkward though. Disruption now from Mira is going to be enough to actually save his life. It looks is. So a bit of a miscue there from Liquid side, as iNSaNiA might pay the price. Larl continuing on. He has the magnetize applied to iNSaNiA, trying to TP out, but a little bit ambitious at this stage. Could have been a huge kill for Liquid, who are already sporting a decent lead with 6K right now.
It's one of those moments where you're kicking yourself a little bit, right? Because with maybe slightly better communication, that misplay doesn't happen, and at the same time, Yatoro with a great Shadow Step dodge there made their lives that bit harder. It's just one support at the end of the day that you lose, but realistically speaking, that was probably a dead Spectre that you ended up losing, so it kind of feels like you lost 2 or 3 heroes even in that engagement. But they're still looking very healthy on the gold, and as we all expected, guys, Spirit Breaker top net worth, minute 23, truly one of the heroes of all time.
Octarine
keep it rolling.
Is finished for Zai, Midas, KP to come, I assume. It's Shadowblade. So he will be going for Silver Edge eventually. As Tormy time! Miposhka will get the shot. That is a very, very, very good one.
Yeah, gets a lot better when he gets level 12, because then he has protection of a much harder to kill Supernova, but still just a nice pickup in general. Yeah, as you mentioned, Zai will start working toward the Silver Edge. They recognize that it's an item they have to get. If he wasn't in a breaking game here, I don't think he would buy Shadowblade even, but the break is just too important here. You kind of have to go for it over other interesting items that we've seen people buy on this hero, such as Lincoln or Ayasha.
Interesting.
Refreshers, you know. The whole catalog of items.
Yeah, he'll find his way there eventually. It's like any other Spirit Breaker game we've seen this tournament.
Oh yeah, he's definitely not going to fall off, I'll tell you that much.
Yep. I mean, if a cow falls off, I don't think they can get back up, so that would be pretty bad if he did.
Falls off what, though?
Cliff.
A lot of things can't get up when they fall off a cliff. Thank you very much for your insight.
Liquid with a 6K lead. We haven't seen a Roche attempt quite yet.
Charge from Zai.
Charge in from Zai.
No silver, though.
He's going to pop the pipe. Pushback's going to be there. Mira is now in the area with the disruption available. Use it yet. They're trying to get rid of these little bugs, and there's the Ravage from Collapse. Can they turn this around? Ultin from the Vector as well. Disruption. Oh, actually, they had some decent heals from this egg as well. Nobody has died somehow. Larl comes in. He's taking the brunt of the damage. There's a disruption, but now he's on enemy lines. Looks that's going to be the sacrifice for Team Spirit. Collapse ends up living throughout the day here. He's going to jump right back in, uses that anchor. That's the dead in the water onto the Pangolier. They're going to lose their Shadow Demon, though. And Yatoro is going to have to back away because they just don't have the damage right now. And miCKe to be whipped into submission, but will just Shikuchi away. So 2 dead for Spirit, 0 for Liquid. That was the anchor being shown for the first time from Spirit's side.
And the panel talked about this, right? Spirit might run into damage problems in the mid game, and that's exactly what we're seeing here. Larl, without that BKB, he just gets shut down. And there's 2 BKBs on the side of Liquid with massive impact there. The Spirit Breaker as well as the Weaver.
Yeah.
It's not over.
Yeah, he's healing up quite a bit. Eventually will fall. Meter Hammer actually connects onto 2 miCKe with a beautiful time lapse. He can get most of his HP back. As a result, as Yatoro just get right-clicked down by miCKe on that Weaver. And Spirit lose a very valuable member. I don't think they can go any further. Collapse with no ult, of course, used in the previous fight. And Zai, well, that's a Spirit Breaker, so he's fine.
Yeah.
Literal opposite of an Ancient Apparition. He's gonna get anchored. Oh, and it's done.
Yeah, I think Zai's gonna make a point out of not using Bulldoze when he charges, because he will get used a lot of the time by the Phoenix, and if he just reserves the Bulldoze for after, if there's no Demonic Purge ready or Shadow Demon isn't in the play, he can very safely get out of there with just the Bulldoze, because as we've already established, there's a bit of a damage issue going on for Team Spirit right now. So another great fight here from Liquid. 10k up. First time they've got a 5-digit lead in this series. And it doesn't look like they're going to drop it anytime soon either, right? It feels like if Spirit are going to turn this game around, they need to get some big items. The BKB on Earth Spirit is definitely a start. The type of fight that he will be looking for is one that extends so long that the enemy BKBs expire and that he just keeps Magnetize running on targets during it. It's a difficult challenge to overcome for him.
Roche being attempted. In the meantime, Miposhka is going to get another struck, but Zai, it is a 3v1.
Well,
I feel like he's going to get out because, again, Spirit Breaker. It's a 4v1, in fact. My goodness. Collapse was looking for the anchor, but KB's going to prevent all that.
Time Nisha will be grabbing the Aegis of the Immortal, choosing not to put it on Weaver here. Feel very confident that miCKe can stay alive. I think this is a little bit dangerous to the extent that miCKe is playing very, very aggressively on his Weaver for now, and if he does get caught by some sort of Ravage combination where everything is available and Earth Spirit gets to chain all of his spells with his BKB, I think he can die. I guess the same could be said for maybe it's just pick your poison, you know?
Nisha, looks like that is going to be the completed Aghanim Scepter on the way. So Shield Crash will now proc Swashbuckles. Very valuable item in general. Assume is lapsing is back. 4 minutes on that Aegis. Looks like the tier 2 tower will be the choice for Liquid. Let's see how many towers they can get. There's only one more tier 2 after this. Spirit side in that mid lane. Zai. Their strike with the charge combo. Deadshot gonna miss on Mira though.
Oh, he's gonna live
Take a walk away. We'll be able to blink to safety. TP with the charge.
Nice ward.
Mr. Cursed by Cinder, and as usual, what a real pile.
I was like, he got really far away and maybe, you know, TP out, but there was a ward. So, nope. This gets charged by 1,000 move speed cow, and that is a fate I do not wish upon anyone.
It's very thick, very juicy.
Okay, that was not at all relatable to what I... That's fine.
Talk about a cow, so collapse. Gonna be found. Zai, ooh, blink out. Doesn't quite have the silver edge yet from Zai's side, so no break.
Closing in on it though. Kind of only need about 1,000 to go. Yatoro is out picking flowers.
Buys his shard, so roll up is going to be available very soon for the mid laner on Liquid. As he doesn't get silenced. Of course, that's what that Manta's for.
Oh.
Miposhka.
Yeah,
well, thanks to that shield. Charge is coming as well. He's already used his dive. There's calling, trying to use the stun ray to get to the high ground. He's going to get disrupted instead, and will die shortly after. The high ground attempt from Liquid. Is this too early? 14k with 2 minutes on the Aegis. We've seen this go wrong for so many teams.
miCKe with the Satanic is a way harder kill now than he was before.
That's true.
And looking at the damage issue, Spirit, I think you can poke and prop, but you could also just really constrict the map, because the thing that becomes increasingly difficult now for Dire team is when they don't really know the spread of the enemy team, it's difficult to find the meaningful team fight. Like maybe you can smoke up and find one kill on somebody, but that's not going to change the state of the game. What you're really looking for is a really great trade-off, and Toro is going to get bugged here.
The minus armor. We'll take it out swiftly though.
Okay.
And walk away.
Expecting a charge there from Zai. Might have been a cooldown. Regardless, we'll continue to farm up all the lanes as well as the jungles. And this is another benefit to Breaker. We've been talking about this hero a decent amount, but any hero that can farm their own side of the map and join fights within seconds, just have that as a huge advantage. Right? On Spirit side, it is the Spectre, but Spectre's farming speed.
Big smoke for Spirit. Can he find miCKe the Ravage to start things out? He's dead! Oh my goodness, that was quick.
Yep.
Now I kind of wish the Aegis was on him instead. He's going to have to wait 70 seconds and see how much Spirit can get out of this.
This is what I mean, right? This is what Spirit can do. They can smoke many heroes and find one kill, and now what, right? Like, it's obviously a really big kill. They're going to be happy with it, but you're not changing the game state. You're not really going to be able to push out the waves. You're not going to be able to get control of the map. Now Ravage is on cooldown, played very aggressive as Team Liquid, and wouldn't be surprised to see them taking some opportunities themselves now, maybe with a smoke. Their Aegis will expire soon, but I don't think Pango is in any imminent danger without the Ravage. Things just slow down, and Spirit get that kill essentially for free. That's obviously good news for them. We'll be looking to do the same thing again in a minute and a half.
Now, one thing I will say is Spirit do have a very good Rosh-off team.
Yes.
The lineup that they have with the AoE, if you have to fight in that area, obviously they do have quite a big deficit. I think hero to hero matchup, they match up very well in that area. But we'll see if that ends up coming to be, if they can try to contest this eventual second Rosh. For now, that kill onto miCKe was just a little blip on the radar of Liquid because they have firm control of this game right now. See Mira being spotted out, will be taken out. Miposhka will be the first to go. Okay.
That was a gem, by the way.
Support's dead for Spirit.
Gem on the deck. Miposhka's gem now in the hands of Zai, so Spirit recognizing that they have to try to take some risks of getting map control back, but immediately, and that gem is just a big gold loss. And now Yatoro, Zai will only hit the illusion. Yatoro looks like he might be dodging the situation entirely. He's got to be really careful, though. Oh. If he had gone for a TP out there, that dead shot might have actually stopped it and he died, but he chose to run away on the right. Live, but the map is really a minefield right now for the side of Spirit. Very, very difficult.
You know, we don't get the opportunity to talk to the crowd too often, Cinder. How many Spirit fans in the audience? Okay. How many Liquid fans in the audience? How many Seattle Supersonic fans in the audience? There we go. Don't worry, you guys will have a team in a couple of years.
All right, so essentially the crowd is hoping for a finals of Liquid versus the Supersonic. I'm sure they'll get that eventually. Liquid is going to get into basketball anytime.
Had to make one reference for TI before I get fired, so appreciate that.
It's incredible you get fired every year.
That is true. Just keep coming back like a bad fungus. 19K lead for Liquid now, as they're just waiting for the old Roach. We'll know in about a minute how long of a spawn that will be, but with the lineup that they have, they can just push these waves consistently. Zai can be on opposite sides of the map. Very difficult to kill, regardless of his items, it feels like, and he certainly has some items. Smoke up right now from Liquid, so for a pick-off before the potential Roach will spawn.
Spirit are trying to get some sort of safe zone, right? They just warded there and they're playing around that vision. De-warded, and they just have to concede the area once again. So effectively, you went from having 15% of the map to 20%, and then they lost to 5% again. So very difficult.
There's the break, Nether Strike to follow. Big charge as well. It's already at half HP is Yatoro, but follow-up whatsoever.
There from Shadow Demon. Yatoro will retreat to base. Currently, Orchid, it's close to completion. Reckon will, I mean, he probably wants to jump and kill the Pugna, but that's not even a possibility right now. iNSaNiA with the Eon Disc. Muerta has the Greaves against the Orchid, so that's not great either. It's tough, man. I feel like it's kind of hard to itemize in general for Spectre under these circumstances because you kind of need a little bit of everything. And I suppose the mindset is we're going to itemize what is most impactful when BKBs drop. And Orchid can come into play there for sure. We'll get the shard onto Earth. It's that geomagnetic grip on allies.
Boy, I haven't seen a team love Tormy as much as me until now. Spirit loves it. Liquid does not. It's 35 minutes and they haven't even taken their own yet. Look at that.
Yeah, I think it's kind of natural for the winning team to maybe not want to go there that much because you don't want to give up position.
They're too good for it, is what I'm saying.
I mean, you're essentially in such an offensive position that if you have to retreat to take the Tormentor, if the enemy team has any information that it's happening, you're kind of opening the door for them to take some control of the back, so you just opt to not give them that chance. Might fall back later, but now they're going to reap the rewards of having utter domination of the map. They'll get the second rush. Aegis and Cheese. It's going on miCKe this time around. Cheese into the backpack. Nisha recognizing based on that previous kill that, yep, and indeed burst our Weaver. Gonna get that extra layer of protection. Data. I wonder if Liquid want to try to poke the high ground a little bit with this, or once again, if they feel like this will ever get out of hand, right? Like how long do they need to give Spirit, right?
Demonic Perch to Zai. Do they have the damage though? Is that half HP with that BKB already activated? Going in really deep. They pop the egg with the Sun Ray as well. The Ravage is being expended as well. He's getting healed now from iNSaNiA. This cow will live on. Vegans around the world rejoice. He lives. And now they're going to try to turn this around to Yatoro, but miCKe, he's taking the damage. That's already the Aegis down. Zai getting one more charge off. Eventually he will fall though. So beef enjoyers enjoy, but Yatoro will drop as well. So there is a trade and it's very heavy. 3 dead for the eventual kill onto the cow.
That was a really clutch save from iNSaNiA. Also a brilliant execution from Spirit, honestly. I did not think they were going to be able to pursue that Spirit Breaker kill at all, but clipping him on the edge of the Ravage and Sunray, that would have been a kill without iNSaNiA's save, and sure, they get him in the end, but it made them overextend so much further. Liquid coming in and get quite a bit of a cleanup, and this could open the door for the high ground. Obviously, Aegis down, so you need to be a little bit careful of miCKe not to overcommit. This time around, there won't be a Ravage.
Time lapse down for 40 seconds. Tier 3 tower down, base exposed. Oh. Collapse jumps in to get the anchor. It looks like it was Lotus instead. Another fortification. It's the last one for a while here from Spirit's side. This time on the Nether, or the Nether Blast. See that Deso just doing absolute work. That is a melee racks down. As Collapse wants to go a little bit further, another 15 seconds before that.
Oh, that
in a very precarious spot, trying to get to the hanger to get disrupted instead. You can see Larl going in with that BKB and the Blade Mail as well. Still a lot of damage being applied, but no kills as of yet.
Spectre about to shadow step here.
Indeed, they just need a little bit of vision. Larl trying to provide that onto Boxi. They've got to get something out of this, and they will. It's just the support. They lose their melee racks, cost them dearly.
Yeah, that looked like a bit of an awkward situation. I don't know, Larl meant to kick Collapse into the enemy team there, but do get out alive on their tide still. Scary situation for them. Liquid with a good pickup of that melee racks, pointed out. They still have their cheese. I don't know if they're going to consider this enough of an advantage to look for more, or if they're going to fall back into the...
I'm going to say enough of an advantage to go for block of cheese, the first ever in TI.
Yeah, has that? Okay. Have you seen a pro game with
Not
it?
one.
Okay.
I feel like of all people, I would have heard about it, so I'm just going to assume that it's never happened.
Maybe that needs to be a little bit make or
good. Just make it good, please. Zai is now level 25. Yep. Oh, he's got a Stormcrafter. That's some nice move speed and mana.
So the 50% greater bash chance here, so now up to 37. He's decent attack speed as well with his Silver Edge.
He's broken by the creep temporarily. That's going to be broken by the cow instead, but he's going to use his ult to the upside. Beautifully done. They kill off Nisha right off the bat, and Zai, he's left kind of alone, but miCKe, iNSaNiA on the outskirts. The egg is placed with that Sun Ray being applied. Zai will charge away. In the end, it looks like only one will be lost, although the chase is not completely over. pretty damn big kill for Spirit.
The timing on that was actually pretty ridiculous. As Zai was opening on Yatoro, he stepped over the other kill. So not only did they kill the Pango, but they also saved their Spectre from a really awkward situation. That could not have been any more perfect for Spirit. They get a kill and they get a tower. It's not the biggest of deals, but you know, they're staying afloat. The lead hasn't really grown very much, and you're seeing the win probability kind of not really shifting in the last 10 minutes. So give it enough time, it might just start dipping down slightly. And they're getting some pretty key items, right? So Larl getting the Axe is obviously enormous, right? This is a key way of saving the Spirit Breaker combination onto his Spectre. There's something that you cannot break, so as long as he's in position, which he should very easily be able to get with Rolling Boulder and BKB, save a target of his choosing and kick them out. Or they could use it to kick someone into terrible positioning because Liquid don't really have the best save. Finding a support, kicking them 2,000 range away, they're probably just die in the spot.
41 minutes in, it's only one melee racks. I know it's 8, which is, like you said, it is somewhat substantial, but it hasn't really grown that much. Spirit fighting back, and the later this game goes, the more comfortable their lineup is just better, or at least, but a lot
always such a wild card, but yeah.
That's true.
In this game, at the very least, there are solutions that we'll see.
Oh my god, collapse! Oh, he turns into stone though, nicely done. He's actually gonna live as a result, but it's gonna cost Larl his life. Oh boy, that's not worth trading a position 2 for a 3 and a 5 now. Spirit down a 3v5, and they're gonna lose more than just that range racks.
Did miCKe double crit there or something?
Couldn't tell you.
Tide almost instantly died. That was ridiculous, and that's okay. Well, we have all our theory crafting going about how late can this game go. Well, if you lose 2 heroes like that without buyback, you're going to get mega'd now. I don't think Spirit have any hopes of defending this without... Oh, actually, Earth Spirit buyback did come up, so maybe you could go for some sort of a hold with 4 heroes here, but this is going to be really, really difficult.
Yeah. There is the Ravage to start. There's the buyback as well. The Egg with the Sunray in Zai.
Oh,
They actually deleted miCKe. Somehow locked him down 100 seconds without their Weaver now. Can Liquid get away without any other casualties, though? Boxi is going to get anchored. And to fight his way out of this one. Looks like Zai wants to continue on. He gets off the charges. Larl's on top of BKB. BKB's galore, in fact. There's stuff from Nisha with the roll. Being to lock 7 heroes down from Spirit, but they do lose their support in the end. Knife roll onto the high ground. Finds iNSaNiA. He on disc will just delay the inevitable. So 3 kills in favor of Spirit. They defend. Looked undefendable, indefendable, whatever the word.
Super close to being 4 kills. The Pango collapsed cast Hex during the end of that Rolling Thunder, and it expired just before the Rolling Thunder did Hex duration. Otherwise, he would have been caught on his TP out, and that could have been big for Spirit. I mean, it's still pretty solid given the circumstances. We're now kind of back to the goal that we had before the 18k lead, but you're down another lane of barracks, so there's going to be more problems on the map for Spirit to solve. Still, given the circumstances, that could have just been the end of the game instead. So I guess you got to take the small victories where you can get.
Collapse with them. Your hammer. Going to be able to take out this tier 2 tower, looks like. Go for the anchor smash on building, by the way.
They find Yatoro.
And Yatoro, disruption's going to keep him safe for the time being. In fact, saves him in the end.
Demonic Purge.
Okay. Demonic Purge blocked him, collapses in the area, has a big charge from Zai trying to keep the rest of Spirit at bay, but the anchor's applied to the Pangolier. That is a dead Nisha. Does have buyback, but just waited out. Still had cheese as well. Zai and company trying to find more than just the Shadow Demon. They're going to find Miposhka. Looks like he's done. Oh, just barely getting out was the tie. So Collapse does live. Lots of back in this game number 2, but a huge kill on the. I feel like when either team just finds one hero isolated, they just get deleted instantly.
Yeah, this can snowball very quickly in fights for both teams. You see the kill on Pango. The good news for Liquid in that situation was that Supernova wasn't ready, so they were able to collapse onto the Phoenix and bring him down. Love the purchase of Lincoln's, by the way, on him identifying. Okay, I mean, we have to just solve this. This is not an item you will use buy after kills, but probably the best choice you have in this game. So you just Try to stay afloat. That also refresher reveal from Collapse there. So a lot being expected from Spirit, and honestly not really the best result, right? Considering that they found the Pango kill first. Went as well as they would hope. That they're also going to lose the Ravages, so completely uncontestable. Got the goodies. There will be a shot on this.
Well, 2 refreshers.
Do you give it to?
Well, Boxi will hold on to
Boxi
it for
holding
now.
it, yeah. So he'll have 2 pierces of the Veils. Not really the best hero in this game.
No.
I maybe should pass it on.
He's
maybe
acting
probably holding it for Pango. Eh?
Yeah, he's being a courier right. Maybe the 2 cheeses still. So a block of cheese enjoyers out there rejoice. Definitely a possibility.
What if you got 4? Got a bigger cheese.
Big cheese.
Does this look? Nah, actually, it's not a quarter, is it? 6. That's a good idea. Block of cheeses too easy to make. Let's make it 8 cheeses. We've had some games this tournament that could have almost.
It could have. Yeah, could have. Smoke now from Liquid, supporting this 25k lead. All about the buyback situation. Especially for Spirit, because Liquid will likely just be in their base.
Yep.
Any engagement has been suspended here.
Still holding on to the refresher in Boxi's backpack. Calling is a filthy spell, and having 2 of them back to back is very good, but want it. Anyway, here comes the siege. Tower will be falling to just.
He's going to show himself. Way. I want to be very careful here. Despite having 2 cheeses in the Aegis, we have seen a lot of high grounds punished.
Yep. And Yatoro is huge. It's worth keeping in mind. This is a level 26 Spectre with 6 slots. There's still a bit of room to grow, but he is very, very strong. Wants to finish his Abyssal Blade, and then we're maybe replace the treads, and then we're at the maximum output.
He has Nullifier and Bloodthorn.
Yeah, he can kill this Pugna very fast. Can kill anyone really fast, essentially, if they just find the Ravage opener. Liquid are very cognizant of that fact. Let's let the Nether plants do the step by step.
Yeah, you'd think that Dark Willow we saw the other day. Basically a trebuchet from global range. You still lose the game. That's the Ravage is going to try to put everything onto miCKe. That's just the Aegis, though. He is surrounded. Zai coming with the charge. Nisha with the Rolling Thunder as well. The egg is placed. You Spirit, or Liquid actually want to stick around. They used a couple ults just to try to be able to fight this. Is Zai able to charge out with that refresher. Boxi going to pop his ult and apply as much pressure as possible. When he's in no man's land, he's going to use the refresher shard that we were really theory crafting.
Ah, yes, the refresher pike that we all thought was going to be.
Oh dear. So Aegis shard gone.
Yeah, do hold on. Collapse refreshed his Ravage and didn't have mana for it, so that could have probably gone a lot better for Spirit than it did, which is kind of scary news for Liquid, right? You have all these advantages, you're trying to push high ground, and despite only 1 Ravage coming out, you still didn't get anything out of it. And I love this from Spirit, you know, take some initiative, play on this Ravage that you have, you know there's no Aegis. You can catch them before the BKBs come off cooldown again, and that would lead to a really big moment for you. Spectre can take care of the base, Shadow Step at the ready.
Scepter for Zai. Beautiful. Level 20.
Oh boy.
That's okay.
Okay, well.
Oh, bounty rune. Don't mind if I do.
Open AI, I would have killed him there, but that's the kind of reactions you need.
Yep, true. Time to ask ChatGPT to play your game of Dota for you. Shot. Rolling Thunder. He's actually going to get it off. Gets a stun onto 2 as well as miCKe trying to apply as much pressure, but there's a disruption. Mitigating a lot of the damage here, but now the pressure being applied to Mira, who died and now buys back. Crepify. He's going to get onto the high ground safely. A whole lot was lost, but Spirit, 1 support buyback that they have to worry about is Boxi getting gone on now by Yatoro. Nice dead shot. I think that Bay. Looks like he'll get away safely as well. This might be a next Roche situation for Liquid.
It's
really hard to go high ground.
it is really difficult.
If you find the Shadow Demon again, that's you can't buy back. So maybe that's the main target.
Absolutely, the best kill they can possibly get, and he dies very fast. If any, it's a matter of getting one charge connection or a couple of swings, or might just put from 100 to 0. Keeping in mind that Mira doesn't have a defensive item. He has Blink Dagger, no Aeon Disc, no Ghost Scepter of that sort. Try to stay alive against some hard-hitting heroes. It is everything.
Tormy, number 3, if my correct. Yatoro will get that shard. Which means, everybody have one on their team? No, Mira doesn't. Wow, the support. After all that, the support still didn't get a shard. That's a lot of 50-50s that he's lost.
Yeah, I think they would actually kind of like to have the demonic cleansing.
Oh, Liquid are like, oh, I forgot this existed. Okay. Say, enjoy your worthless shard.
Maybe they watched Bet Booms, came to the conclusion it's too dangerous. Tormentor has killed Bet Boom more times than they have killed Bet.
They have buffed this Pugna shard over the course of the last couple years. Certainly better than it used to.
Cast range on the drain into it.
I mean, it was either that or the Muerta one, which as a support... Oh, she already has? Boxi already has.
Yeah.
They must have killed Tormy already.
It's okay. Or the guard on the support.
It's no grab ally. That's Toronto Tokyo literally never bought the shard in the 8.
Yeah. Oh.
He doesn't want to stun his teammate. I don't know how to click out of that.
Had bigger items to get.
Yeah.
He wanted to set the world record for most health on a hero pro game, which he might have actually done.
That's true. The shard doesn't help with that.
He got 14k health at one. Might have not been the one today, because he had another game as well where he had the same build on
Absolutely absurd. Iron String, Heart, Aghanim Scepter. Boy, indeed. And now with a double damage bottled. If they can hold on to this for the next Roche off, could be in the next minute. That would be huge.
Love the placement from Zai here. He's breaker, waiting for any well to maybe pounce. He will go here.
Yep, there's the charge to start things out for Zai. Looking for another strike, but the disruption is there. He's going to get cleansed now. He's already at half HP. He's going to pop his refresher, try to get away. The Rolling Thunder's now in with Nisha. He doesn't do too much damage. Focus other efforts on the Larl, who's on the sideline. He can turn himself into stone to stay alive. They lose the Shadow Demon, though. Now the roll away from Larl. Being pursued by miCKe, who still has double damage. Collapse! Almost gets instant-gift. Now the charge is there to try to finish him off, and he does so successfully. Will buy back 2 members of Spirit with still with their ultimate, so Ravage is still available. Looks like they're going to be able to sacrifice iNSaNiA here. Yataro's kind of all alone. iNSaNiA now. BKB, okay. Will he die? The nullifier's there to finish him up, but Yatoro, is it worth it? Is it worth it? You're getting surrounded yourself with a dead shot. He's stuck in the trees, and he is dead. 100 seconds of no Spectre. The Ravage finally comes out. So 2 members of Liquid do die, but they're Ancient exposed.
I was zoning. He was zoning 3 heroes for like 10 seconds.
And miCKe looking to get the rest of the buildings here to ensure victory in this game number 2 for Team Liquid. 2 buybacks now from Liquid's side. Mega creeps in their favor, and now it's a 5 versus 3 without the carry from the side of Spirit. The Ancient being exposed, all they have to do is right-click that with that Desolator until his GGs are called. This series is going to game 3, which I'm glad to see because it deserves it.
Yeah, really nice bounce back from Liquid. After that first game, they solved their problems from that first game very elegantly here with a couple of adjustments in the draft, right? They went away from this high cooldown reliant